Good morning, everybody. I'm starting to feel like my body is on the verge of getting sick, and my intuitive sense about this is I'm finally in a place where it can get sick. Finally, like in a home, it's been in, I think, survival mode for a little while now. So it was like, it just couldn't get sick. So, now it's finally able to kind of get sick, and getting sick is a time where we release a lot of stuff, just a lot of gunk in our body, that's been there for a while. It's our body's way of just burning up, just kind of stuff that, like toxins. It's just the body detoxing a lot of times is what getting sick can be, especially on the Ascension path. And so this morning I was feeling that like, oh, I think I'm kind of getting sick. And it was parallel and correlated to this sense of, oh, I can finally like deeply relax. I can finally just like sleep a lot. And just kind of be, because when you're in the car, there's always kind of something to do, or there's always, even if you're not doing it consciously, there's always this unconscious hypervigilance, like, am I safe here? Is it okay? Kind of checking out the surroundings. And I'm a projector, a human design projector, so I'm especially keen to survey my environment. So yeah, it's just like, okay, the body is kind of starting to settle in to knowing like, oh yeah, we're in a home. I don't have to be on guard. I don't have to be so vigilant. And so it's allowing itself to go through this process of just releasing toxins, of just releasing a lot of built up stuff, a lot of just denser energies, And so I can sense I'm getting sick. And for me, it's not something like I think of as a bad thing or I avoid it. To me, it's, oh, cool. I kind of lean into it. I'm just like, oh, good. Let the body release. I always just flow with what is and just try to allow it fully and embrace it. And so I'm embracing this process of the body kind of restoring itself, cleansing itself. Yeah, so it can be really nice. Just resting. I think last night I fell asleep at 7:30 or 8 p.m. Up again early to do this video, which I love. I don't know. I think it's close to 6 right now. Or I got up. I think I looked at the clock at 5:55. Yeah, and that's kind of, I wrote some things down, and that's kind of the main theme right now is just slowing way down. We're coming into winter. At least where I'm at now, it's getting really cold, especially at night. And it's just slowing down to be with the pain in the body, to be with the feelings in the heart center, especially. I've been noticing a great deal of pain in my heart center and the left side of my heart. And I think that's another thing of like, oh, the heart feeling like, oh, okay, we're safe now. I can really let this stuff up. I can really feel this deep heart pain. And so, yeah, just being here is really slowed me down a lot. And I think that's something I really needed. It's so important to connect to those slower rhythms of life, to let yourself really just, when we have a lot of pain in the body, a lot of trauma, it's going really fast, right? You can feel it going really fast. And sometimes we get caught up and we're going with it and we're also going really fast. But what that trauma really needs is for us just to slow down, to be with it, to especially fear. And that's one thing I wrote down is slowing down enough to make friends with the fear in my body, to make friends with the terror in my body. A lot of times when we have terror, we get really we want to, just kind of control things. We get going really fast. We get really worried about everything. We're constantly hyper-vigilant and thinking about everything and what can go wrong. And, I think what fear ultimately needs is not for us to give our power to it, because that's exhausting. It's exhausting every time a fearful thought comes up to just give our power to it and to give it so much focus and attention. That's not actually what fear needs, because that's just a loop, and that's just, it's going to perpetuate more of that stuff. What fear actually needs is for a calming presence, a sturdy, powerful presence to just really slow down for it and to be with it from this place of peace and to just let it run. The fear wants to run, and we let it run. We create this space where it can run. It can have its fearful thoughts. Maybe some activity is really good if fear wants to move. Talking your fear out in like a therapeutic container can be really good, or if you have a great friend or family member that will listen. Just fear wants to move through the body. But when it's moving, sometimes it has a tendency to grab us, and we just start moving with it really fast, right? And it doesn't even have to be activity. It can be in the thinking mind. We're just thinking. It's like, actually, that's just a bunch of fear energy, just trying to release from your being. And so we don't have to give our power to it, because like I said, that's just exhausting and it depletes us. Just all that worrying. And if we're being honest, we basically never have to worry. Like, what's going to come is going to come, regardless if we're worrying about it or not. So yeah, just, that's one big thing. Yeah. Oh, this was a big one. Noticing how afraid that I still am of certain feelings, especially when it's like this new layer of like terror or something, and it's just very raw, and it's just really intense, and it can feel overwhelming. I'm noticing, this was especially true a couple of days ago, I noticed how afraid I was of feeling the terror, even on a conscious level. I mean, a lot of times we're very subconsciously afraid of certain feelings. But even on a conscious level, I noticed, wow, I'm really resisting this. I don't want to feel this. I'm afraid to feel this. I would rather not feel this. And I just noticed so much resistance to certain feelings. And that can happen when a fresh layer of, say, fear or terror is up, or grief or rage. It's like we get afraid of those feelings. We've been programmed to believe that these feelings are dangerous, they're bad, they're going to hurt us. And so, that's something I really noticed. And sometimes there's not much we can do about that when we're just that afraid of a feeling. We just have to let the consciousness sort of learn about it, our soul sort of learn about it. We have to let our energy field sort of kind of be with it for a while before our conscious fear of it starts to dissolve. And then we'll have more and more of a willingness to open to it, to soften to it, and to actually really allow it to run through the body, to allow it to run its course. But for a while, we can just be like, holy fuck, this is a new level of feeling that I haven't really surrendered to yet. It's just so much, and our reflex, our habitual response to it can just be resistance. And I noticed that the other day when I had lots of terror coming up that I hadn't encountered before. It's just, wow, I'm really afraid to feel these feelings. So you're not alone there. Just know it. Just be with it the best you can until your fear of the feeling starts to dissolve, and then you'll be able to open to it more fully and to really feel through it, and then it will start to release. I think today's going to be a shorter video, guys. I'm pretty run down just from my lifestyle over the last however long. Yeah, I'm just seeing if there's anything else. Yeah, just try to be conscious with the energies that are here, guys. I know it can be hard. I know yesterday I distracted a bunch, and that's okay. Sometimes we do that. But towards the end of the night, last night, I was really letting myself be conscious of what was happening in the body. I was letting myself be conscious of the work that the light was doing within me. And that can feel like it's kind of rewarding. It's just like you get to really immerse yourself in the process deeper. And when you're conscious of what's happening within you, the metamorphosis that's happening within you, you just come to a greater understanding of what's happening, and you start to feel more in flow with the process. Rather, because I noticed when I was distracting, that was another way of just resisting the process, right? And trying to get out of my body. And, I didn't feel as in flow, as in harmony with what the light was trying to do for me, with the inner transformation that was taking place. But once I just kind of made this inner commitment and choice to just let go of distractions and to be with the transformation that's taking place, I felt a lot more peace about it, because it's almost like the light was communicating to me what it was doing for me, how it was upgrading my consciousness. I could hear what the light needed from me on deeper levels, if you will. And I could really feel the light just really, yeah, sinking deep within me. I could just feel it doing such beautiful work on deep levels of my being. And that's like a big theme right now, is this light is working on some really deep levels within you. And you really start to understand that and know that when you're conscious with this process rather than distracting. And when you're conscious with this process, you're going to have a greater level of appreciation for it, rather than kind of feeling more like the victim and I don't like this. So being conscious with this process is going to help you just align with it on deeper levels and just be more grateful for the upgrades and the transformations that are happening within you. All right, that's the video. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of your guys' support. Thank you for the donations. They provide me with shelter and food and all that good stuff. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys so much for just supporting me in that way. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Much love and namaste.